Hello, welcome back to another story with Rob. This time we have Mr. Good. A very good book about a good person trying to do good things, which we all must do at some point. So this is, in this particular section, is number 46, the last one when this was printed. But I think they've added some more on because this was 2003, so 20 years ago. There we are, look at that. Mr. Good by Roger Hargreaves. So, let's see what Mr. Good gets up to. Mr. Good is very good. He always makes his bed, he always cleans his teeth, and he always wipes his feet. He never slams doors, he never forgets birthdays, and he never, ever tells lies. Mr. Good is very, very good. However, Mr. Good lives in a place called Badland, a place where nobody is like Mr. Good, a place where people do slam doors, and they slam them in your face. Oh dear. In Badland, the puddles are much deeper than they look. In Badland, a dog's bite is worse than its bark. In Badland, even the trees are bad. Tripping him up. One day, it was wet and windy. Well, of course it was. The weather is always bad in Badland. Mr. Good was walking along, just minding his own business, when the hat of a man in front of him blew off. Mr. Good leapt into the air and caught it for him. The man turned round and glared at Mr. Good. "What do you think you're doing?" he thundered. "Give me my hat back." Poor Mr. Good. This sort of thing was always happening to him. You see, the very idea of doing a good deed in Badland was preposterous, unthinkable, mad. If Mr. Good offered to help carry someone shopping, he was accused of stealing. If he kindly held the door open for someone, he would be kicked in the shin. Not surprisingly, Mr. Good was not very happy. In fact, he was miserable. So he decided to go for a long walk to think about things. He walked for a long time. He was so deep in thought that he didn't even notice how far he had gone. And he was so deep in thought that he accidentally walked slap bang into somebody. "Oh, I'm so sorry," stammered Mr. Good nervously. "It's quite all right," said the man, and carried on his way. "Quite all right?" repeated Mr. Good to himself. "That's quite all right?" In the whole of his life, no one had ever said, "That's quite all right," to Mr. Good. Things are looking up. Then Mr. Good noticed that the sun was shining, which was strange because the sun never shone in Badland. Nice big sun. Further on, Mr. Good found a dustbin on its side. Without thinking, he tidied up all the rubbish. "Thank you," said a woman. Mr. Good stared at her. In the whole of his life, no one had ever said thank you to him. "Could you tell me where I am?" said Mr. Good. "You're in Goodland," replied the woman. "Thank you," said Mr. Good. "My pleasure," said the woman. Mr. Good beamed. And I'm sure you've guessed that Mr. Good now lives in Goodland. And Mr. Good is happy. Very, very happy, doing good deeds all day long. The only thing Mr. Good still does not trust are puddles. Once you've stepped in a Badland puddle, never forget. The end. Mr. Good by Roger Hargreaves. A very good man doing very good things all the time. And now found a land where everybody does good things. Perfect place for him. Well done, Mr. Good. And we should all really try and be like Mr. Good a couple of times a day. Maybe not all the time, but most of the time. So there we are. Mr. Good by Roger Hargreaves. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again for more Stories with Rob. Bye-bye.